Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Hill. Welcome to our MMU PG Open Day. Today, we are very honored to have Professor Dr. Kian as a guest speaker for this afternoon talk. Please allow me to introduce Prof. Kian. Professor Dr. Kian is a professor at the Faculty of Creative Multimedia, Multimedia University. He was a former dean of the Faculty of Creative Multimedia and former director of the Institute of Digital Education and Learning. His research areas are on cross-reality technologies in learning and smart learning environments. He has been an active reviewer for several high-impact journals for a number of years and has authored several research books on multimedia learning. He is also one of the co-creators of the Master of Multimedia. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Professor Kian to share with us about the future of learning. Please welcome Professor Kian.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time off today to join us. I'm very honored to be here to discuss with you the future of learning. I'd like to thank Dr. Hugh for his kind introduction and to welcome all of you here to FCM's Postgraduate Open Day. This is our second session in our Postgraduate Open Day. The first session was held earlier today. It was an interesting presentation by Dr. Rupesh and Mr. Yap Sao Bin on the topic of creativity matters and on our new postgraduate program, the Masters of Creative Multimedia. For those interested, I think there's a link somewhere on YouTube for you to view at your own convenience. Now, in this session, we will focus on the field of teaching and learning and on our Masters of Multimedia Digital Learning, formerly known as Masters of Multimedia E-Learning Technologies. I will begin with some background into the field and discuss the importance of digital learning. Later, my colleague, Dr. Hugh, will move into the more specifics of the program, and then we'll end with some question and answer sessions. Okay? So let us begin. I'll turn off my camera so that I will focus on the slides. Thank you. First slide, please. All right, next slide. Next. Okay, so you want to get a postgraduate degree. I believe you're all here on your own accord and are interested in getting a postgraduate degree. Now, being a postgraduate student is very different than being an undergraduate student. For undergraduate, most of the time is a natural progression from secondary school or high school to university. But at postgraduate level, I expect all of you here to know there's a higher level of commitment and motivation to obtain a degree. Now, I put this two couple of comic strips from phd.com. This site sort of helped me through my PhD because it has a lot of humorous comic strips for you to look at on what the experience getting a postgraduate degree. As you can see on the first strip on the left, it shows you the skills and situations that you might find yourself in a postgraduate level. There's a lot of hard work, all right? Self-directed learning is involved. Group-oriented learning is there. And most of all, very stressful, as you can see for the last scene where the person is crying. You also need to show strong commitment to the course because being a PG student can get in the way of your work or your life. But with determination, drive, as well as concentration, and the support of your friends, family, and the staff at the faculty, I'm sure you'll be able to get through it without much difficulty. Just as you can see the second comic strip, where things are happening outside, but the two postgraduate students are still very much concentrating on their work. So at the end of it, you'll see the world a little bit more different, and more importantly, you'll be able to function at a higher level of knowledge and skill than you are able to right now. Next. Now, the area of Masters of Multimedia falls into the field of teaching and learning. Now, this does not mean you are here to become teachers. Now, most of you who have a creative background are also eligible for this degree because as you can experience, as you're experiencing during the pandemic, knowing how to design and knowing how to design educational content becomes very important. Now, the landscape of learning has also changed over the last 10 years or so. Technology has become more accessible and more digital. And the manner of educators teaching and students learn has also changed. The term we use today is student-centered learning, as opposed to the traditional method of teaching, which is very much teacher-led and instructed. As you can see, the person with the T-shirt says, "Everything I say will be on the exam." I mean, this is basically one of the few questions most of the time students ask the teacher within the first few days of class. And so rather than answer the question time and time again, he made a T-shirt to answer all that question. So it's very interesting in that sense. However, those days are being are not gone, but they're still here. But we are trying to transition over to student-centered learning, which is very much project-oriented. The reason for the need for this degree today is educators need to be able to design very interesting and very interactive learning environments, be it for corporate purposes, for university, or even primary or secondary school. The questions that usually comes to mind are, how do we get students to improve their learning skills? How do we engage the students? And how do we hold their attentions? So these are the questions that most educators have going into the classroom. Students today have access to all the knowledge in the world on their handphones or other digital devices or tablets. Therefore, educators need to step up their game. They need to improve their learning environment. They need to convey far complicated and sophisticated knowledge in a more meaningful and interesting way in order to capture their students' attention. It is no longer about content learning, it's more about process learning. Next. Today, many of us have experienced remote learning for the last year and a half, and even today, even now, we are still in the lockdown. Due to the pandemic, all learners and educators have to stay home and learn online. We are totally dependent on technology that's available to us. The more comfortable you are with technology to teach, the more we are able to engage our students online. Learning online has its advantages, but also disadvantages. It's very isolated, lack of interaction and engagement. But our job as educators is still the same: to deliver content or knowledge to our students in a meaningful manner and to engage them in their learning process. Even though many educational institutions have incorporated part or some technology in their classroom prior to the pandemic, none of us were prepared for full lockdown or for these long periods, forcing us to mainly rely on online learning and online tools to ensure our students get the best quality of education and not to be left behind. Therefore, in a post-pandemic world, it will become vital to understand how technology can be used in teaching and learning and how it can enhance the learning process of our students. Digital learning is not going away. Instead, digital learning will become more prevalent than ever and will play a bigger part of our lives, especially after you leave university. Next. New skills are needed too. These 21st century skills are essential for our students or future learners to survive and thrive in this brave new world. Here are a list of skills that we need our students to acquire before going to the workplace. The 4 C's: problem solving, critical thinking, and so on. Next. In fact, the World Economic Forum, or the WEF, has come up with a list of skills that will be needed in the future. They've listed several for the last few years. You can see top skills needed in 2015, top skills needed in 2020, and top 10 skills in 2025. This list just came out recently in the last WEF. Now, they all seem to have the top a few common things. Critical thinking, complex problem solving, and creativity are usually the top 3 to 5 skills. And it's interesting to know this year, or this 2025 skills, you'll find that number 2 skills needed in 2025 is active learning and learning strategies. Now, this goes to show the need for digital learning will be a very important skill in this decade to come. Next. We are also facing the new generation of students. This generation of students will be far more informed, more tech savvy, and more digitally skilled than ever before. We now have Gen Z or Gen Z in our schools and university. Before you know it, Gen Alphas will be our students. Gen Z will therefore move into the workplace. Now, these Gen Alphas will be even more smartphone savvy, even before they become teenagers. What a scary thought. That means by the time they enter university or by the time they reach university age, they would have more than 10 to 12 years worth of digital experience, be it on handphones, devices, tablets, or whatnot, or devices that have not been invented. Therefore, when they come into the university, they will demand a highly interactive environment to keep your attention and to engage them. As educators, we therefore need to keep up with the tools and of the trade and equip ourselves with the understanding and skill, and more importantly, the mindset to prepare to educate the next generation of students and workers in our classroom or in our workplace. Next. Current trends. Currently, next, there are several trends happening in the education field. All of them involve using technology to enhance our learning. From digital devices to redesigning learning space to AI or artificial intelligence and using VR and AR in our classrooms. Data gathering will also be key to understanding our learners and to predict their learning patterns and to forecast their behaviors. These trends will allow our students to learn in a more meaningful manner and to make their learning experience more enjoyable and more fun. Next. To sum up, digital learning environments must be, first of all, learner-centered. That means the classroom or the focus has to be on the learner rather than the teacher. It has to be engaging. Therefore, it has to be interactive and participatory. That means we want people to talk. We want people to voice their ideas. We want students to be able to voice their views and their experience. It has to be authentic. That means it has to be real world. We have to give them real world projects to get them to have real world experience. It needs to be collaborative. This is in order for them to learn how to work in teams, how to lead, how to follow, and how to negotiate conflicts within teams. Digital learning environments will also be media rich. They'll contain highly dynamic multimedia content to allow for better communication and to motivate and to capture students' attentions. And it also can be personalized to cater for different personal styles or personal learning styles. So these are the these are the traits of a digital learning environment, which are active, dynamic, and adaptive. Next. Now, the master's program will focus on several areas in order to create a new mindset. The first, and also quite the most important, is understanding of the psychology of learning. The foundations of teaching and learning is about human psychology. How we learn, how we think and behave are related to our psychological makeup. Knowing what they are, how they work, provides a good foundation to know how students learn, what motivates them, and why they behave the way they do. Next. Another area is to develop content using technology to bring out the best of our users or our learners. Technology is considered as a tool. It can be used, if used properly, it will allow us to design very good aesthetics for learning and also very highly interactive content. Skills such as content creation skills, design skills, web skills will be very important to bring out the best in our students. Understanding new emerging technologies such as AR, VR, AI, and others will only revitalize the learning environment and will provide more immersive and hands-on learning experience. Next. Using a wide range of pedagogy will also allow you to redesign your classroom environment to fit the content as well as your learning outcome that you want to achieve. Different pedagogies allow you to focus on different skills and achieve your intended learning outcome. Also, it provides you the flexibility to personalize your learning according to your learners and make learning more enjoyable. Next. In order to maintain relevance in current, research and development must be learned. This also will allow you to understand new methods of teaching and learning, new knowledge, and new models developed. It also allows you to contribute and to share your unique ideas with the world. To learn to do research and to share them with the rest of the world is how we grow knowledge and how the world expands their understanding of the field. The pandemic definitely has shown that how R&D not only creates new knowledge, but also saves lives. Through this work in this master's degree, elements of R&D are in all of the courses, and in order to train you in the process and procedures of doing sound research. We envision a blending of these few areas, as I just mentioned, in the master's course to bring about a new mindset in teaching and learning, and to create learners that are able to learn and able to learn how to learn, and to innovate new ideas using technology supported by R&D. Next. We also have dedicated a few learning spaces that allow you to perform your task to reach your learning outcome. These spaces include the animation lab, 3D printing lab, and others. They'll give you the opportunities for hands-on experience in designing your very own learning environment during the course of the masters. Next. We also have some virtual tools. Our very own MMLS has been updated over the years. MMLS is our LMS system, or learning management system, that allows you to manage your classes. We use video conferencing tools, as you can see, Google Meet, Zoom, Team, all those tools. We are very flexible in the type of tools we use. We don't stick to one tool. We also use other free online learning tools like Kahoots, Edpuzzle. We also subscribe to Google Classroom and others. We provide you an array of virtual tools that will help you design your learning experience. Next. Now, we've also had to try to get you involved in research. Recently, myself and a few lecturers in FCM and a professor in FCM managed to get a research grant called Merlin's Playground. Merlin is basically a acronym for Mixed Reality Learning. Now, this research program focuses on the use of VR, AR, and holograms and other emerging technologies in the classroom. Next. A learning space is being created to house all these technologies. Now, we have identified the classroom. We have bought our equipment. Right now, we just have to wait till the lockdown is over for us to design it. And hopefully by end of August or so, the classroom will be ready. Postgraduate students are welcome into the space to experience these new learning applications and perhaps share ideas to further this research along. We welcome new ideas for your final project or whatever you think that may help us move this project along. Next. The Merlin's program, or Merlin's Playground program, consists of 6 different projects. The first project involves learners exploring science in a VR learning environment. While we also have another project that deals with augmented reality, and it's a game based on augmented reality, and I think it's based on 3-point lighting for those of you who have learned it during your undergrad. The third project uses web technologies for flipped classroom, and together with a chatbot, is also being created using natural language processing. We are also trying to explore the use of holograms. As you can see, the camera, trying to use holographic images or visualization in order to enhance learning. And we've also developed certain learning analytics to predict students' behavior in this learning environment. All in all, these 6 projects will provide a glimpse into the next level of learning using cross or extended reality or XR technologies. And you're all welcome to experience them. To conclude, the future of learning is open and hopeful. It is full of excitement with new ideas and emerging technological tools to design new and engaging future learning environments for the next generation of educators and learners. With that said, what is the future of learning, you may ask? The future of learning is you. Thank you very much for listening. Now I will pass the presentation to Dr. Hugh. who is the coordinator of this program and also an expert in language learning and multimedia, to present the details of the program. Dr. Hugh, over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Professor Ken. Okay, in the following slide, I'm going to share with you about the MDL, Master in Digital Learning, course structure, and the fee. Can you go to the next slide? Next slide. Next slide. So hold on. Okay, this course is 100% coursework. There is no exam, and we have two modes. One is conventional. That means you have to come to the campus to attend the class, and the other one is online distance learning, 100% online. You do not need to come to our campus for the entire study. Okay, for the full time, you may complete this study within 1 year. Okay, maximum 3 years, and for the part time, minimum 2 years and maximum 5 years. So the intake every July and October. And the course structure, next slide please. You have to take 12 subjects, okay? It's altogether 36 credit hours plus 1 final year project, okay? 4 credit hours. And this is a course structure for the part-time. Next slide, please. This is a course structure for the part-time. Next slide. This is entry requirement, okay? Hold on. So to enter this program, you must have a bachelor degree with a minimum GPA of 2.5 or equivalent. If you do not have a GPA of 2.5, but if you have a 5-year working experience, also can be considered. Okay. For the English requirement, you must have minimum IELTS. So hold on. Okay, minimum IELTS overall band score 5.0, TOEFL 442, MUI 3, and so on. Okay. For next slide, please. And this fees for conventional. Okay. So altogether for the conventional cost is a bit higher compared to ODL. So altogether you have to spend around 26,000, 26, okay, 26,000 for the entire cost for the conventional mode. Next slide, please. If you go for online distance learning, okay, online mode, so the cost is about 17,000. Okay, so 17,000 for your entire courses. Okay. So any questions regarding the structure and the fees and the requirement? No question. So if you have any question, because I will be in Google Meet, okay? Later on, you may come to the Google Meet, then you may consult with me for the details, okay? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes, not? Or not yet? Okay, Dr. Hugh.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ken. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.